Hi, good morning. Let's take a look at question number 1. The rate at which people enter an amusement park on a given day is modeled by the function e. This is function e. The rate at which people leave the same amusement park on the same day is modeled by the function L. This is function L. Both E of t and L of t are measured in people per hour, and time t is measured in hours after midnight. These functions are valid for the time 9 to 23 inclusive, the hour during which the park is open. At time t equal 9, there are no people in the park. Okay, no people. T equal 9 is the beginning time. How many people have entered the park by 5 p.m. t equals 17? Wrong answer to the nearest whole number. So let's review a little bit. We say that if you had the integral, okay, a to b, the rate in dt, then you will get the amount goes in from A to B. So now we have the time 9 to 17. So, and you want to find how many people enter. So therefore you have to use E of t because that's the rate at which people enter the park. So therefore for part A, we're going to do is integral beginning time to the time that you want to calculate, t equals 17, and E of t dt. So because we are allowed to use calculator, we are going to make our y1 equal to the E of t. Now we're going to do integral 9 to 17 y1 dx. So we're going to use our calculator. You type in y1 and then you do math 9 to 17 y1. Okay, so you're gonna get 6,004. So we got 6,004. The reason we had to round to a nearest whole number people. So we finished question part A. Now let's go to part B. Part B. The question said that the price of admission to the park is $15 until 5, t equals 17. After 5 p.m., the price of admission to the park is $11. How many dollars are collected from admission to the park on the given date? Round your answer to the nearest whole number. So the idea is you have to find out how many people enter the park until t equals 17 and use that number to times 15. And then you have to find out how many people enter the park, okay, from 17 to the end of the day, which is 23, and use that number to times 11. So we just figure in part A, if you want to find the number of people, you do integral of the E of t. So therefore, we're going to use two integral. One for the number of people enter the park until 5 o'clock, t equals 17. And then use another integral to find the number of people enter from 17 to the end of the day. So we're going to integral 9 to 17 E of t dt. This will be the number of people enter the park until 5 p.m. and then times the 15. Okay, so and plus the integral 17 to the end of the day with 23 E of t dt, and then times the amount, that will be $11. So now we are going to enter this holding in our calculator. So we get 104048.165, and the question asked to round to the nearest whole number. So we are going to round into the nearest whole number. So we got 104048. So this will be the total amount that the admission collect. Now we finished question number 1B. So let's go to 1C. One C, the question said that let h t equal to integral 9 to t e of x minus l of x dx for the time interval 9 to 23 inclusive. The value of h 17 to the nearest whole number is 3,725. Find the value of h prime 17 and explain the meaning of h 17 and h prime 17 in the context of the park. So now let's take a look at this function and let's see what it means first. So we get h of t equal to integral 9 to t e of x minus l of x dx. The rate in and rate out. So basically it means this. So it means the amount that go in, subtract the amounts go out, and plus the initial amount that was 0. So that's why it did not show over here. So if you look at this, it basically means ht represent the function of the amount of people in the park at any time t. When I introduce this kind of question, I use P of t. As I said before, sometimes the question may use other letter they prefer. They can use S of t, P of t, or Z of t, any variable they like. So now, basically, h of t represents the amount of people in the park, or the number of people in the park. So h of 17, it basically means the number of people in the park at t equal to 17 is 3,725 because you had 17. So now we finish explaining the h of 17. So next we have to find the h prime 17. So before we find that, we had to find h prime of t. H prime t, if you remember this, read the amount to go in, the amount to go out, and plus the initial amount. So when you find the derivative of this, it will be e of x and l of x. So we're going to say that it's going to be e of t minus l of t after we substitute the x by t, the rate in minus rate out. So now h prime of 17 will be e of 17 minus l of 17. So now I'm going to make my y2 equal to the L of t, which is 9890 divided by this. Don't forget to put your denominator in the parentheses when you have more than one term. So now I want to find this. So I'm going to use my calculator, y1 of 17 minus y2 of 17, and then you get the number. So I will get negative 380.2814. So the question asks you to explain the meaning of x prime 17. We know the x prime of t is the slope of the amount of people, the rate of change. So it's negative, so it indicates it's decreasing. So therefore, we say that the number of people in the park is decreasing at 380.2814 people per hour because the rate change at t equal to 17. So we usually state the time because to be more specific. So we finished question number 1C. Now let's take a look at the last part D. Part D, the question said that at what time t, the t is between 9 and 23 inclusive, does the model predict the number of people in the park as a maximum? The keyword is you want to find the number of people in the park is a maximum. So that means you have to find x to t is maximum, absolute max. Okay, at t equal to what? So in order to find the absolute max and the absolute mean, we use the derivative. So we say x prime t equal, and from the previous part, we already found that it's going to be the rate in minus the rate out. And we have to make the derivative equal to 0. So we're going to make, because these two are complicated equation, so I'm not going to type in this subtract this equal to 0. So I already made my y1 equal to e of t and my y2 equal to l of t. So I'm going to make my y3 equal to y1 minus y2, basically is e of t minus l of t, and then check where y3 equal to 0. So that was a technique that I showed you before. So now I'm going to type in my y3 equal to y1 minus y2, and then I'm going to graph it. So I'm going to change my window. I'm going to make my window into 9 to 23 because that was the interval. And because the number are kind of big, so I'm going to use negative 100 to 100. And then I make sure that my y3 is the only one that highlighted. The other are not highlighted. So now I'm going to press graph, and then I will have my graph. And this going to be the only point. So I'm going to do, okay, by the zeros, left bound and right bound. So I get my 0 at x equal to 15.7948. So I show my work, okay. So that would be t equal to 15.7948. So positive to negative. So that means your h of 15.7948 is the only relative max. So absolute max. Now I'm going to make conclusion. The model predict the number of people in the park, which is max at t equal to 15.7948. Now we finish question number 1.